Throughout history, there have been men and women who didn't just observe the world, they changed it. Emperors and philosophers, revolutionaries and writers, scientists and activists, their words, their ideas, their actions echoed through time, influencing generations long after they were gone. Welcome to Quotes from Historical Figures, a journey through the most powerful thoughts ever spoken. From the battlefields of ancient Rome to the streets of modern-day America, we will explore the words that have shaped civilizations, sparked revolutions, and continue to resonate within our souls. These aren't just words, they're the cornerstones of human progress. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. These words, spoken by a man who dedicated his life to fighting for justice and equality, carry a weight far heavier than their simple construction. Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't just a civil rights leader, he was the voice of a movement. In a time when silence could mean the difference between justice and oppression, he reminded us that staying quiet in the face of injustice is as damaging as the injustice itself. Silence can be a betrayal, a quiet acceptance of the unacceptable. Think about a time you witnessed an injustice, large or small. Did you speak up? Did you lend your voice to those who couldn't speak for themselves? This quote challenges us to be brave. It urges us to find our voices even when our throats are tight with fear. It dares us to stand on the right side of history, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's difficult. This is not a call to be reckless, but to be courageous, to understand that our silence has the power to either perpetuate suffering or ignite change. History is written by the victors. Winston Churchill, a man who himself shaped the course of history, understood a fundamental truth: perspective is power. In war, in politics, in life itself, the winners are often the ones who get to tell their version of events. Think about the history books you read in school. Whose stories did they tell? Whose voices were amplified and whose were silenced? Churchill's words are not an endorsement of this reality, but a stark reminder that what we learn from history isn't always the complete picture. It's a challenge to dig deeper, to question the narratives we've been taught, and to seek out the untold stories that lie beneath the surface. By acknowledging the inherent bias in historical accounts, we equip ourselves to become more discerning consumers of information. I think, therefore I am. These four simple words, uttered by the French philosopher René Descartes, have echoed through the halls of intellectual history for centuries. Descartes, a man obsessed with the nature of reality and the limits of human knowledge, stumbled upon a profound truth. The very act of thinking, of doubting, of questioning is proof of our existence. What is it that separates us from inanimate objects? What makes us uniquely human? For Descartes, it was the ability to engage in conscious thought, to reflect on our own existence. This quote is more than just a philosophical thought experiment. It's an invitation to engage in self-reflection, to cultivate our inner worlds, to never stop questioning the world around us. Our minds are our most powerful tools, capable of unlocking incredible potential within ourselves and the world. Embrace the power of your own mind, for it is in the act of thinking, of doubting, of questioning that we truly come alive. Let them eat cake. Whether uttered in a moment of callous indifference or simply a product of historical misattribution, these words, forever linked to Marie Antoinette, Queen of France, reveal a chilling truth about power and disconnect. Though historians debate whether she actually spoke these words, the sentiment they convey has resonated through the ages. Imagine a world where the plight of the common man, the struggles of the everyday citizen, are so far removed from the realities of the ruling class that their suffering is met with such a tone-deaf response. This quote, apocryphal or not, serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of such a disconnect. It highlights the potential for revolutions, for upheaval, for the very foundations of power to crumble. when those in positions of privilege fail to grasp the realities of those they govern. It's a cautionary tale about the importance of empathy, of understanding, of bridging the gap between the haves and the have-nots. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a man who led America through some of its darkest days, understood the paralyzing grip of fear. During the Great Depression, when the nation was mired in despair and uncertainty, his words served as a beacon of hope, a rallying cry against the overwhelming tide of panic. Think about a time when fear threatened to consume you. What were you afraid of? What did that fear prevent you from doing? Roosevelt recognized that fear, while a natural human emotion, could be more debilitating than the actual challenges we face. It could cripple our spirits, stifle our creativity, and prevent us from taking the very actions needed to overcome adversity. His words remind us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. It's about acknowledging our fears, confronting them head-on, and refusing to let them dictate our actions. So the next time you find yourself facing a daunting challenge, remember Roosevelt's words: embrace the unknown, take that leap of faith, and discover the strength that lies dormant within you. An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. Mahatma Gandhi, a man who championed peace and non-violence in a world often consumed by conflict, understood a profound truth: violence begets violence. Think about the seemingly endless cycles of revenge we see throughout history and even in our own lives. One act of aggression leads to another and another, until the original transgression is lost in a sea of pain and suffering. Gandhi's words serve as a powerful antidote to this destructive cycle. He reminds us that seeking retribution, while tempting, only perpetuates the cycle of pain. It blinds us to the possibility of forgiveness, reconciliation, and ultimately peace. This quote is not a call for weakness, but for strength. It takes immense courage to break free from the chains of anger and resentment, to choose compassion over retribution. For it's only by choosing love over hate, forgiveness over revenge, that we can hope to create a more just and compassionate world. Give me liberty or give me death. These powerful words were spoken by Patrick Henry, a fiery orator and passionate advocate for American independence. He truly understood the intoxicating allure of freedom. Imagine a time when the very notion of self-governance, of charting your own destiny, was considered a radical, even dangerous idea. Henry's words, delivered with thundering conviction, ignited a fire in the hearts of American colonists, a yearning for something more than the yoke of British rule. His words were a battle cry, a declaration that freedom was not a gift to be bestowed, but a right to be seized, even at the ultimate cost. Think about the freedoms we often take for granted today. The freedom to speak our minds, to worship as we choose, to assemble peacefully without fear of persecution. These liberties, hard-won and fiercely defended by generations past, serve as a testament to the enduring power of Henry's words. They remind us that true freedom is never free. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. George Santayana, a philosopher known for his keen observations on history and human nature, understood a fundamental truth: our past shapes our present. Think about the mistakes we've made, both personally and collectively. Have you ever found yourself repeating the same patterns, making the same errors in judgment despite knowing better? Santayana's words serve as a stark reminder that history is not just a collection of dusty stories, but a valuable teacher, offering guidance and wisdom for those willing to listen. By studying the past, by understanding the forces that have shaped our world, we gain invaluable insights into the present and the future. To be or not to be, that is the question. These words, spoken by Shakespeare's Hamlet, a young prince grappling with grief, betrayal, and the weight of his own existence have resonated with audiences for centuries. Why? Because they tap into a fundamental human question, a question that has haunted us since the dawn of consciousness. What is the meaning of life? Hamlet's dilemma, the agonizing choice between enduring the pain of existence or seeking oblivion, reflects the existential struggles we all face at some point in our lives. Think about a time when you questioned your own purpose, when the weight of the world felt unbearable, when the future seemed uncertain, even daunting. Shakespeare's words remind us that it's okay to ask these difficult questions, to grapple with the uncertainties of life, to search for meaning in a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable. The die is cast. Julius Caesar, a man of action, a general who reshaped the Roman Republic, uttered these words at a pivotal moment in history. As he crossed the Rubicon River, defying the Roman Senate and igniting a civil war, Caesar knew there was no turning back. Think about a time in your own life when you made a decision, took a chance, or embarked on a path that changed everything. It could have been a small act of defiance, a leap of faith, or a calculated risk. Caesar's words remind us that sometimes we have to make bold choices, to embrace the unknown, and to face the consequences of our actions head-on. There are moments in life when hesitation can be more dangerous than action, when the only way forward is to embrace the uncertainty and trust our instincts. For in the grand tapestry of life, it's often the bold strokes, the moments of courage and conviction that define who we are. The words we've explored today are more than just quotes etched in history books. They are calls to action, whispers of wisdom, and reminders of our shared humanity. What will you do with their legacy? Will you let these words inspire you to act with greater courage, compassion, and conviction? Will you use your voice to challenge injustice, to champion freedom, to make the world a better place? The power is in your hands.